Welcome everyone to this week's Wednesday webinar. Today we are going to be talking about charts within CRM. And we'll spend most of the time in the demo, but we just want to talk about some of the benefits and points of using charts within CRM. So some of the things that it can help with, you can identify trends with your data, you can spot potential problems. It's the same thing when you're looking at rows and rows of data within Excel and you want to do like a pivot table, pivot chart, or add a chart. When you can quickly visualize things, lump them together, you can just see how your data is trending and things that may need your attention. You can also drill down into the charts to further analyze your data. So if you're looking overall, for example, like if you look at something, show me all my opportunities that are in a hot rating, but then you want to know who are the owners of these opportunities and how does that stack up. You can drill into a chart to further analyze that data. You also can use charts to filter your list. So if you have hundreds and hundreds of opportunities and you want to see all your hot opportunities, you could click on that in a chart and it will filter that list for you. Just some quick information about using charts within CRM. You can have personal charts or system charts. If you're going to create system charts, you do have to be a system customizer or a system administrator with your organization. You can put charts in a few different locations. The most common is going to be dashboards, where you can have multiple charts and lists and have a whole kind of, well, I guess, dashboard to run your day or to access what you need. You can place them within entity forms. So if you're in an account form, you could have charts or graphs showing you things about the opportunities or about the cases. And we're also going to look at the charts tab just on different record lists. When you're working with charts in CRM, it is very basic for creating charts. There's not a ton of customization as far as colors or even the amount of chart options you have as compared to when you're creating charts in something like Excel. But you can extend chart customization with XML. We're not going to touch a lot on that because that is more of a developer function, but just to know that's there. So if you really want to use your company's Pantone colors to display your charts, you want to have them 3D instead of 2D, and you want more features, you can export created charts from CRM, customize them with XML and upload them back in so that they're exactly like you want them. That of course does require someone that knows XML or something that certainly we could assist you with if you are looking to do that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at working with charts. Okay, so I have our demo CRM here on display, and you can see this is just a dashboard. We have a couple charts on our dashboard, and let's just take a look at how we can filter data and drill into it when you're working with a chart. So what I'm going to do from this dashboard is I'm going to pop this chart out, and what it's giving me in this new screen is going to be the list of records that is feeding this chart, and then it's going to have the chart off to the right. So what I mean by filtering records, if we wanted to see all of these opportunities that are in the propose stage, I'm just going to click on propose, and now you can see to the left how our charts have filtered down to everything within that stage. We also had a little box pop up here that allows us to select a different field and a different chart type. So this is how we can drill into the data more. So with this, let's go ahead and say we want to know from our proposal stage what the probability is for these opportunities. So I'm going to go ahead and select probability for a field, and let's look at it as a bar chart. And we're going to hit the little OK arrow. And now we can see of all of our opportunities within the proposed stage, here is that sum of estimated revenue by probability. So you can see we have $13,000 worth of estimated revenue that's got a pretty high probability of being closed. This can be helpful too if you're looking at workload. Maybe you want to say, okay, what's my top opportunities? Is that all one salesperson that has to attend to those? Same thing with if you're doing customer service cases. If you have a lot of high priority cases or urgent cases, you could drill down and see how the workload has been spread out to make sure that you actually have the capability to meet your customers' needs. Okay. So that's looking at charts on a dashboard. We're going to go next to the opportunity list. And this charts is going to be the same whether you're looking at accounts or cases, but we're just going to work with opportunities for today's demo. So I'm going to go to the opportunity record list, and you can see I'm going to change this view to just open opportunities. And anytime you're within a record list, the charts tab is off to the right, and a lot of times it defaults to being collapsed. If you do expand it and then you move around, it may already be open, but you just expand it hitting the arrow. And my computer's taking a moment to catch up with us here. I'm just going to refresh my screen. There we go. Now we can see the name of the chart that we're looking at appears here. The reason I want to see that is right here in the upper left-hand corner. This is where all the charts that are available to you will be listed. So you can see system charts and you can see my charts. So when we talked about you can have system or personal charts, anything that's a system chart will be here on top. And then if you've created personal charts, they are down below. So you can see we have a few different ones here. The first one we were looking at, this is our top customers by estimated revenue. And if we wanted to look, let's take a look at opportunities by rating. We've got a pie chart here. And then let's go ahead, top opportunities. So we'd seen customers before. Now this shows us what our top opportunities are. So you could see if you have some larger ones out there. There are a few out of the box. All of these here are out of the box charts that come with dynamics, but you can create your own if there are different fields you want to look at. Certainly if you have custom fields or just a different way that you want to see your data. With CRM, I always say there's multiple ways to achieve anything. We are going to create new charts. There's a little plus sign right here to create a new chart. When you create a chart this way, that is creating a personal chart, not a system chart. At the end of this, I will show you where system administrators and customizers can go to create those system charts. But let's just go ahead and get into creating some charts. The process is the same, whether you're creating personal or system, it's the same selection set. So we're going to go ahead and create a new chart. And it opens this little chart designer. And then you can choose from what you want to be your series data and then your axis labels. You can have up to 2 in one. So you could have 2 here on the series data, or you could have 2 here on the axis. You couldn't do it both ways. So let's go ahead and create some different charts. The first one, we are going to go ahead and do estimated revenue. You could use, if you have fields that calculate like weighted revenue or anything else that you might use, you can use really any of the fields that you have available, but we're going to keep this pretty simple for today, and we're just going to use estimated revenue. And you can choose if you want it to be average, min, max, count. We're just going to keep this as sum because we want to know the total. Here's where you can choose the type of chart. So there are less available options, but you do have a few. You can do funnel, pie, line, you can do area, and then bar and column. We're going to keep this one as is with a column chart. And this is top and bottom rules, which we'll look at in a chart we're going to create in a moment. So we've got the estimated revenue, and let's say we want to see not just estimated revenue, but we also want to know how many opportunities are creating this sum that we have available to us. So we're going to go, and I'm going to select topic really for this count. It could be any field that you choose. I just usually choose topic. That's the name of the opportunity. So that's what I go with. And it's defaulting already to count all of them. And I'm going to change this to a line chart. Perfect. Now I have my series in there. I'm going to go ahead and add the axis that I want. And for this, we're going to say we want to know where we're sitting within the purchase time frame. So we want to know where is our estimated revenue and when could we roughly expect it to be coming in. So I'm going to go through the fields here and I'm going to look for purchase time frame. And now that you see I've got my data entered, it's put the chart together based on this view that I'm looking at. So it's always important to be aware of what view you're looking at when you are creating a chart. For example, if I was to choose actual revenue instead of estimated revenue, I wouldn't have any results on my chart because your actual revenue calculates when you win or lose opportunities. It doesn't calculate on open opportunities. So just something to be aware of when you're creating charts. The designer automatically adds in a name for you, and it's really just picking you took estimated revenue and topic by the purchase time frame. So let's give it a name. Let's just say we want to see potential revenue by timeline. I'm not very creative with my names, but it looks a little better than what the system created for us. And let's go ahead and save this. And it says down here the chart is saved. And we're going to close designer here. And now you can see it has pulled up the chart that we just created. And we can expand this out if we want to go ahead and see the chart larger. You can see that we have immediate purchase time frame. We have $76,500 potential revenue. And again, working like a filter, we can click on that and it will filter down the opportunities here off to the left. So let's look at another type of chart. This time we're going to have 2 on the axis instead of 2 series data. So let's go ahead and create another new chart. And this one, we're going to do estimated revenue again. And we're going to keep it as sum and we're going to change it to a bar chart. And then for this, we are going to say we want to know where we're looking by close date, estimated close date. And when you select a date field, you can choose what time period you want to look at. Do you want it split out by month or quarter, year? Common one to use is month. Another thing that I've used has been year. If you want to see like year over year sales, when you're working with one opportunities, you could do something like actual revenue year over year, and you could track that by account so you could see who your top spenders are, things like that. For this, we're going to go ahead and keep it at month. And then we're going to add another axis label and we're going to say we also want to know by rating. So let's go ahead and do that. And you can see it started to create things, our estimated close dates here that we can see January 2020 and we can see the different ratings. So it would just give you a better way to view, you know, if they're hot, warm, cold, where is that revenue lying? And we're just going to say revenue, I'm going to put potential again, revenue per, my names probably aren't much different from the system names, but use what works for you. And then there's one more type of chart that I want to create just so you can see the differences. And then we will look into how you can add them into the account, the entity forms. So let's go ahead and close the designer on this one. And we're going to start a new chart. This one, we're going to take a look at that top and bottom rules that we were going to talk about. And we're going to take our trusty estimated revenue. And we still want to look at a sum. And let's just put For the axis, we want to look at it by account. So it's really helpful to use top and bottom when you have a lot of data points. So you can see it's already starting to fill in here. We have quite a few accounts. So maybe we just want to know who are the top, who are the bottom. We kind of saw it before with top opportunities and top customers, but this is just the best way to kind of showcase that. We're going to go ahead and select top, bottom. And the first one, they default to top 3 or top 5. So if you just select top 5, it's going to filter out to the top 5 by estimated revenue. And the same works with bottom. You can create custom. So if we wanted to clear the rules, this would get rid of all your rules. But say you don't want to look just at the top 3 or the top 5. If you hit custom, we can just choose what number we want it to be. So we want to see the top 15 customers. And there we go. We see the sum of the estimated revenue for our top 15 customers. So let me go ahead and save this. And we're going to go ahead and close out the designer. So now we can see all of the charts that we just created are here under those personal charts. So if we want to use them, we had previously filtered the data, so you can see my data looks a little different because I had selected that before. If you ever run into that, you can go ahead and completely refresh your data, or you can take the filters here. Let me close this. And you can change them to kind of reset the data. Trying to remember which filter I popped onto there, but there we go. I've got it all reset. And now we see it as we had originally set it up, where we can see all the different categories there. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to look at adding things into a form for a particular entity. So in the case, we're going to look at accounts. And I'm just going to pull up one of our account forms here that we have. Pretty basic form for our demo environment here. And I am going to go into the form section here to customize this. And again, there's 2 ways, and you would have to be a system administrator or customizer to be able to change the forms. But we're going to go ahead and look at how to do that here. And to insert a chart onto your form, we're going to go ahead and insert subgrid. Okay, and we're going to give it a name. And we are going to go ahead and do just top opportunities. We're looking for related records. And we're going to pull up the record type that we want to look at. So we want to look at opportunities. And then we're going to change to open opportunities. Everything seems to default to like my active opportunity, or my open opportunities, my active accounts, things like that. So you will want to make sure you change it to the overall view so that even if it's not assigned to you, it will still show. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pick the chart that we want. And we're going to keep this simple. We're just going to go with top opportunities. One thing, when you are putting things on a form, only system charts will be available for you. So the personal charts you make will not be available. So we're going to go top opportunities, and we're going to select to show the chart only. And the other thing you need to be careful for when putting a chart within a form is to make sure you give yourself enough lines, rows for the chart to be visible. I find 12 usually works pretty good with most charts. No, what did I do here? I had a space in my name. So one thing with CRM is when you have a name, it doesn't allow you to have that space there. Okay, so we can see now we have this area where we've put in the opportunities. So I'm going to save this and publish it so we can see how a chart looks within a form for an entity here. It should just take a moment. Okay. Okay, here we go. So now we can see when we're looking at an account, we can see the chart of the top opportunities for this account. So this can be beneficial. I see this used mostly within the account forms. Sometimes it can be helpful when you're doing opportunities as well. If you use both opportunities and something like customer service cases, you could see how active a client is with your company. It can be helpful for salespeople to know from an opportunity perspective, how many customer service cases does this person have, things like that. So this is just a really beneficial and quick way to gauge some overall activity with a particular account. So the last thing that I want to show you guys today is if you are a system admin or a system customizer, how you can add those system charts in. So within CRM here, within the black toolbar, we're going to go to Settings and Customizations. And we are going to go to Customize the System. And this really is where you can do anything from a customization perspective. And we expand the entities here, and pretty much any entity is going to work the same way. Some entities, depending on the type they are, may have different options available, but the basics are pretty much identical across the board. We're just going to go down to opportunity because that's what we've been working with today. And when you expand a particular entity, you can see there's forms, views, and charts. So if you click on charts here, this is where you can see the system charts that are available, or you could create a new chart. And it's going to open that same chart designer that we were working with before. It just pops it up in a new window for you guys. Another neat thing that you can do from here is if you find that you don't use a lot of the system charts and there's just too many to select from, you could always get rid of unnecessary charts. I hesitate to delete too many if you think you might need them, but you could definitely make that change here. And how we had done the customizing forms, if you select on the forms, this is where you can customize the forms for an entity, and you could add the charts in there as well. And now we're not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I do want you guys to know one other thing where we had talked about you can expand your charts, you can extend the customization by using XML. If you are well versed in that and it's something that you want to take on whenever you are within a chart. So it doesn't matter which chart. Let's just go ahead and we'll do potential revenue by timeline here. If you select the ellipsis, you can export and import charts here. So if we select to export the chart and open that up, here's the XML behind that chart. So you could make all sorts of changes to this as long as you know what you're doing with the XML and you keep it within the same required formats. And then you could import the chart back in with those customizations. But again, if that's something you are not well versed in, but you'd like to look at having some of those things changed about any of your charts, we can certainly help you with that at any time. That's really what I have to show you for charts. I'll put this out here for you. If you have any questions or concerns, or you just want to talk charts, feel free to reach out to me. I am more than willing to walk through anything with you. Is there any questions right now? Wonderful. Well, I thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.